Ruffles, ruffles, and more ruffles was the theme for this cake, along with a side of like drapery, mixed metals, and fuchsia. My client described herself as perfectly imperfect, and she wanted a cake that would reflect the same feeling going into her 29th year. She chose fuchsia as the color because she's creative, bold, and celebrating her individuality, which is everything that fuchsia symbolizes, and she wanted to really lean into that individuality. So instead of doing my regular base ruffle pattern, she wanted it to be scalloped, which I think is so fun. So I went ahead and did 2 layers, and then I filled in the little gaps so that the 3rd layer of ruffles would have something to sit on. She let me know that if at least half the cake wasn't draped in ruffles, she would be very disappointed. So I decided to do 5 layers of ruffles going up the side of the cake. I really enjoyed doing this because the first 4 layers didn't really matter as much because that 5th layer was going to be on top covering any imperfections. But something she specifically requested was having 0 coils on the cake. Okay, so she didn't want a coil border to close up the seam of the ruffles. So I instead decided to do a scalloped border, which kind of acted like a 6th layer of ruffles, which I like. And then finally, to close up that seam, I did a beaded buttercream border, which I really like. I think this turned out super cute. However, this is real-time piping, and the beaded buttercream takes so freaking long. Probably won't be doing this again anytime soon. And now for the top half of the cake. Okay, so she wanted it to feel like ribbons and threads had just been loosely draped over the top of the cake. I've said it once, I've said it 10 times, I'll say it again. Making messy things look beautiful and intentional is really difficult. And it's a skill. I'm not sure if I've completely mastered it, you know? So going into this, I'm like, okay, I feel like I can do it. I used 4 different nozzles to achieve the ribbon and thread look. And then I added a coil border on top, you guys. The second I finished it, I realized, oh my God, she didn't want any coils. And also this looks terrible. So I had to scrape it all off and start from scratch. I decided to match the base of the cake and do some layered ruffles on top as well. She didn't want any writing or numbers because she has a topper that she's going to be using at her party. So I just went in with the ruffles, and honestly, I feel like it's so cute. She likes mixed metals, so I added silver and gold edible glitter all over the cake. And then she said she wanted intentional sporadic sprinkles. So I went in and added some like sprinkle freckles, if you will, which I think turned out super cute. And I love how this cake turned out. I know it's not for everyone. I know people are going to be like, it's too many ruffles. Order your own cake then, okay? I loved it. My client loved it. Tears were shed. Hugs were exchanged. Really proud of this one. I hope you like it. I hope you have a good day. Okay, love you. Bye.